I am in Vilnius, where the NATO summit will be held, and I want to briefly talk about the latest events that are taking place around this, one might say, a turning point event for Ukraine. Why a turning point? Because, firstly, as Jens Stoltenberg said, a multi-year assistance package for Ukraine will be approved in order to guarantee the full compatibility of the armed forces of Ukraine with NATO standards. Secondly, a NATO-Ukraine Council will be established to discuss political and other issues. And thirdly, NATO leaders will confirm, as Stoltenberg expects, that Ukraine will become a member of the alliance. But on the way to this, because Joe Biden has already spoken out that so far Ukraine does not see membership, so to speak. However, this path is already being traced. I know that many in Russia, let's say, devalue what will happen in Vilnius. Many Z-bloggers and Z-patriots claim that there was already a Russian NATO Council. But excuse me, but where did this Russian NATO Council lead Russia itself? And most importantly, initially this advice was aimed at depreciating the alliance itself. Because if you delve into the issue, it will be clear that Russia has never been interested in NATO, but rather it was such trolling from the Moscow side. What is also important to note is that this summit, which is why I called it a turning point, is because it will secure Ukraine's special status in relations with NATO. And on the eve of the summit of Ukraine's accession to NATO, it was supported, at least they said so, by Bulgaria, and during President Zelensky's visit to Ankara on July 7th, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan spoke out in support of Ukraine's entry into NATO. I found an interesting article on the foreign policy website. They suggest that there will be two scenarios. Firstly, this is the so-called Israeli security scenario, and secondly, after all, Ukraine's entry into NATO. But the Israeli model is possible only after the end of the war. This option provides for the long-term supply of weapons by the West to Ukraine and neighboring countries in order to deter Russian aggression. Well, I have already spoken about joining NATO. Today, 33,000 flags of Ukraine and NATO flags are being exhibited here. This is a volunteer action. Why 33,000? Because here they are sure that Ukraine will become the 33rd member of NATO.